What up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of my 1 million funded challenge, a series that, if you guys are new to the series, I'm basically documenting my entire process to getting funded with $1 million. And in today's video, I'm basically sharing everything that happened last week. So from November 17th to November 21st, if I'm not mistaken. So from Monday to Friday, of course. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump into this. This video is going to be a little bit different compared to the other ones because I'm not sharing what happened every single day. I'm just doing kind of like a weekly recap because I'm on vacation right now. But I wanted to show up, as always, show you everything with full transparency, as well as open my trading platform dashboards so you guys can kind of like keep a track on everything that happened. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And before jumping into the video, I wanted to show you kind of like how I closed last week so you guys are a little bit more aware of how I'm doing. So last week on my FTMO account, I closed at a little bit more than 1% in profit. This is last video, so episode 3. If you guys haven't checked that out, I recommend doing so. And we just open this. And on my my Blueberry funded challenges, I closed at, let me just see. So one at 3.67%, the other one 3.8% in here. And let's see the other one at 3.67%. So in simple words, last week was very, very solid. We closed all of our platform challenges in profit. So now let's see what happened this last week.
Hey guys, so I hope the audio is good. But last week I basically took 3 trades, or I have 3 trading outcomes. I basically gonna attach like a picture in here of my MT5 so you guys can see the trades. The first one was on GBP/USD. I had a break-even trade. So basically the previous week we had a great reaction in here. We can see huge reaction to the upside, which by the way, the trade was completely valid. We had liquidity sweep, we had a break of structure, we had plenty of fair value gaps in the movement. And basically price tucked us in on a Friday of the previous week. Price went higher, almost reached our final take profit, but unfortunately, price ended up reversing back. You guys know that I moved stops to break even when price reached my one-on-one. So this was risk free. And then price stopped me out of break even. So it was all good. We didn't lose in that trade, and also we didn't win either. So this was the first trade, GBP/USD. Then I had a very fast stop loss on the USD CAD, literally with just one single candle, no reaction at all. Our bias was completely incorrect, but the trade was completely valid. We had a huge liquidity sweep, not only sweeping these highs, but also the overall move from here, then breaking structure with body close. And then I was just waiting for price to reach my entry. It did, but we got stopped out at -1R. Of course, it was a valid trade. That's all good. But of course, we lost 1% that trade on every single one of my accounts, so every single one of my challenge, just my 50K challenges. And finally, we had a losing trade. This one, I didn't lose a total of 1R. Why? Because I didn't actually enter with a total of 1%. Why? Because this was a scale up position. The issue with this position was that initially I was planning to take this short, this big one. So let's ignore this one. Let's ignore this one, right? Let's just talk about this one, right? I was planning to take this short. I didn't, but then I just decided to kind of like scale up, which basically means that in this fair value gap, after breaking structure and the initial position being risk free already, this is something I'm applying to my strategy, which is adding to winning positions in this scale up entry. I did, and unfortunately, price didn't respect this fair value gap and kept going up, stopping me out for a minus 0.5 R. So I didn't lose my total of 1%. I lost 0.5% on every single one of my challenges. It's unfortunate, of course, but I've had great results with this specific additional approach, and it's working really good for me. Actually, I think last week I had a very good trade scaling up on a winning position. And if it was not last week, it was the previous week to that one, and it's working out pretty good. I also have a lot of data right now, so it's working for me, but it didn't in this case. So we lost 0.5 R in this trade, and we lost a full 1 R in this position for a total of minus 1.5 R for the week. Now, let me open my platform dashboard so you guys can kind of like see how I'm doing. So on my, let me see, I'm going to log in real quick. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so in this one, I have 2 accounts, which by the way, something new to mention, I added a new 50K challenge on FTMO. So I just recently got a new one. So I had the previous one plus the new one that it's new, right? So they're both in running positions at the moment, which I'm going to show you in a second. And this is how they're doing. So let me just open one of these ones. So for example, the first one. So this one specifically is in a little bit in drawdown in terms of balance. Of course, I have some floating equity, like in real unrealized PNL, right? But this one is a little bit in drawdown. We can call it a break even. And the other one, which is this one, it's at a little bit in profit. So also break even, right? So they're both in break even. And so this basically means that we were 1% up last week, of course, because we lost a couple of trades. Now we're back at break even. And this one, so the first Blueberry funded account, this one is plus 2.16% up. We were in almost 4%. So, of course, we lost some capital in there. Then this one is 1.88% in profit. And this one is 2.02% profit. So they're all in profit, which is, of course, what matters. But of course, we are now not that in profit as we were last week. We actually went down in balance, which is not something I like, but that's how our edge plays out. Also, I'm currently on vacation, as I said at the beginning, and I usually don't trade that well because I'm not that active in the charts. I'm usually not checking the markets. I'm usually just procrastinating, setting my pending orders or so. So I'm a little bit inconsistent. I'm not gonna lie when I'm traveling, but I need to get better with that because that's something I want to do in the long term perspective. Just being able to travel and at the same time trading. But yeah, in general terms, we're at least in profit. We're not in huge drawdowns. And I know that if we keep consistently executing our edge, we're eventually going to pass. But that's kind of like the main idea. You guys can see that this last couple of weeks, the progress hasn't been that huge or that noticeable. I think that's how it's said in English. But we're executing. At least we're consistently growing, not that fast or not that exponential, but we're maintaining in a break even stage right now, which is, of course, much better than being in a losing streak or just in a huge drawdown. So that's how we're doing in all of our accounts right now. So, in general terms, I have 5 50K challenges at the moment, 2 with FTMO and 3 with Blueberry Funded, which, by the way, I actually partnered with FTMO. You guys know that they never give any discounts or anything. But if you guys want to get a challenge with them and you want to help me at the same time, just use my referral link in the description down below. That's just being completely honest. By just getting a challenge, you're helping me as well. So you're supporting my content, you're supporting me as a person. So instead of just buying an account without using any referral link, you can use my referral link. And at that time, and in that way, you're helping me as a creator, as a trader as well. So I'm going to leave it in the description down below. Just it's just something I want to mention because, of course, FTMO is the most reliable and trustworthy prop firm in the industry, at least in my opinion. So just wanted to let you guys know. And yeah, without further ado, that was all for this video, guys. That's how we're doing. Oh, actually, before I forget, I'm currently in 2 trades. So the first one on AUDJPY, this long position that it's already risk free. So this is risk free, right? I forgot to. And the other one is GPCAD, this one right here, that it's floating in kind of like our entry area. We have the liquidity sweep, we have the breakup structure, and a couple of fair value gaps. So it's valid. And I have a couple of pending orders. So this one on NSET DCAD and GP NSET D, these 2 positions. Also have a couple of kind of like trades that I'm monitoring to see if I place some pending orders, which is Euro GP, oops, Chef JPY, this one, and GBP Chef. Most likely I'm gonna schedule the pending orders very soon. But that's kind of like what I'm looking at the moment. I don't have anything else on my watch list. But of course, later today, I'm going to check the markets again and see if maybe I add some other positions or some other pairs into my watch list. So that was all for this video, guys. Thank you very much for supporting this journey. And let me actually just record with my camera.
So yes, guys, that was all for this 4th episode of my 1 million funded challenge. If you want to join me in this process more in detail, just subscribe to my channel. And also, if you're not following me on Instagram yet, you can do so. The link is in the description down below. So that was all for this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.